Welcome to this week's Hebrew class, which, as you can see, is a revision class of Yehuchanan, John 11, from verses 1 to 22. So we can begin firstly by revising the vowels by just looking at them, and for those who may be new, they're not sure how to use the vowels, these give you a rough idea of how to say them. And of course I have the useful resources, which you will find invaluable if you are studying your Hebrew. So let us now begin. And we have our first line, and we see that it begins with an aleph, which has a value of 1, and then we read Vehi, and it was, and it came to pass, or there was, Ish, a man, Chole, sick, Ushmo, and his name, Elazar, which in English is Lazarus. Mebeit, from the house of Hini. Kafar, which means a village, Miriam, of Miriam. And then we look at the translation. And there was a man, sick, and his name, Elazar, from the house of Hini, which we know is called Bethany, the village of Miriam. Marta, and Martha are Chota, her sister. And Martha, her sister. And then we have Beit, which has a value of 2. And it's he, or she is Miriam, the Miriam, we could say. Asher who mashcha, which means anointed. It's got the word like Mashiach in there. Et, grammar marker, ha-adon, the master, be-shemen, which means in the oil, because shemen is oil. Rokeach, a concoction, we can say, a mixture, in other words. Vatana give, and wiped. So let's have, she is Miriam, who anointed, grammar marker, the master, in the oil concoction, and wiped. All right, continuing on to part B. Et is a grammar marker. Raglav, meaning his, with a pronoun at the end, his feet. Be sa'aroteha. So, and it means with her hair. The hair at the end is her, and the beit could be in or with, and then we have hair in the plural there, with her hair. Va Elazar, and Elazar, achi ha, meaning her brother. Who, and that's he, or he was. Chala, meaning sick. Grammar marker, his feet, with her hair, and Elazar, her brother, he was sick. Right. Now, we have a gimel, which has a value of 3. And then we go, Vatish lach na. And they sent. The na is like they. Ach yotav. His sisters, again the vav is his, Eliv, unto him, lemor, saying, Adoni, my master, hine, behold, Ashir, whom? And they sent his sisters for him to say, my master, behold, whom? Because, of course, Ashir can mean that, or whom, or who. Achavta, Ahavta. Sorry, ahavta. That's a hey, right? Ahavta, which means you love. Chole, sick, who, he. You love, sick, he, or he is. All right, now we move to the next one. And what I might do is read right through it so we get the continual text. And we begin with Vayishma, and heard, Yahushua, Vayomer, and he said, Ha-ma-chala, machala, the sickness, hazot, this, lo, not, la, mavet, to the death. He, it, or it is. And then ki, im are often joined in some way. So in this case it could be but. Lik, vod, but for, that's lamed, the esteem, ha Elohim, of Elohim. Le ma'an, so that yikaved shall be esteemed ba, in it, ben ha Elohim, the son of Elohim. And then the last line, a hey, which has a value of 5, and we get the Yahushua, and Yahushua, a hev, loved, et grammar marker, Marta, Martha, the et achota, her sister, which is like Martha and her sister. The et, and grammar marker, Elazar, and Elazar, or Lazarus. So now let's look at it. And heard Yahushua, and he said, the sickness this, not to the death, it is. Kiim, but for the esteem of Elohim, so that shall be esteemed in it the son of Elohim. And Yahushua loved, grammar marker, Marta, and grammar marker, her sister, and grammar marker, Elazar. Right. Then we have a vav, which has a value of 6, and it is ub sham o. Ub sham o, which of course is, and in his hearing. Ki can mean that. Chola, sick, which means he was sick, right? Vayit ma, and he delayed. Vayeshev, and he stayed. Yomayim, which is 2 days, because the plural of day is 2 days. That's how you get the 2 days out of it. Ba makom, meaning in, and makom is the place. And in his hearing that he was sick, he delayed and stayed 2 days in the place. And then we have Asher who. Asher who, where he was, you could say. Literally, it's like where or that he. And then sham, there. Where he was there is how they would translate that. Where he was there. And then Zion, which has a value of 7. And we have U Mea Chareken. And from after, so, or in other words, afterwards. Amar, he said, Le Talmidav, to his disciples, Le Ku, they go, V'nashuva, and we return, or we will return, El to Eretz, the land, to the land. And there we have it. And from after so, or afterwards, he said to his disciples, they go, and we will return to the land. Or it can be just, and return to the land. And then we have the new line, which is Yehuda, which is Yehuda is the name of the land, right? Which is, of course, translated as Judea. And then we have Chet, which has a value of 8, and it is Vayomru, and they said, Elev to him, Talmidav, his disciples, Rabbi, Ata, which of course means now, because At means now. Ze, which is this. Bikshu, they seek, because Bakesh is seek. Ha Yehudim, the Yehudim. And they said to him, his disciples, Rabbi, now this, they were seeking the Yehudim. Le sak leka, sakleka, to stone you. Again, the pronouns at the end, to is at the beginning, and this means to stone. The atta, and you, tashuv, shall return, shema, there, to stone you, and you shall return there. And then we have a tet, a value of 9, and it is vaya'an, and answered Yahushua, Halo. Now the hey is like a questioning hey. Are they not? Because we know lo means not. Are they not? Shatim es rei. Shatim es rei, which means 2 and 10, meaning 12. Sha'ot, meaning hours. La yom, to the day. Ish, a man. And we see the translation, and answered Yahushua, are there not 2 and 10, which is 12 hours to the day, a man? And it's like a new, almost like a comma there. A man, ki yelek, that shall walk, because lek is a short form of halak, meaning to walk. Bayom, in the day, lo not yikashel. Yikashel means shall trip or stumble. Ki, for, yirei, he shall see. Or, the light, ha'olam, of the world. Hazeh, this. And then, of course, we've got the yod, which has a value of 10. And then we go the holek, and the one walking, ba-lila, in the night, yikashel, shall stagger or stumble. Ki, for, or the light, enenu, not, it is not, because the nu at the end can be it, if it's referring to the light. Vo, in him, for the light is not in him. The one walking in the night shall stagger, for the light, it is not in him. And doesn't that sound not like the light outside, but the light within? So it's a more spiritual sense. And then we have Yod Aleph, which is 10 and 1, which is 11. Va'acharei, and after Dabro, his words, Kazot, like this, Amar, he said, Alehem, unto them, Elazar, which is Lazarus, Yedidenu, our friend, it also could mean our beloved. And after his words like this, he said unto them, Elazar, our friend, Yashin, sleeping, because Yashan means to lie down, so Yashin can mean sleeping. Who, he, the Anochi, and I am holek, going. With the O on top, it's like a participle, going, ma'an, so that, a-i-re-nu, I wake him. Sleeping he is, and I am going so that I wake him. Then we have a Yod Vayat, which is 10 and 2, 12. Vayomru, and they said, tell me, Dayav, his disciples, Adoni, my master, im yashen. So if sleeping, who, he, year pa, which means shall be healed. Lo, for him. So he shall be healed, right? And they said, his disciples, my master, if sleeping, he shall be healed for him. So if he's only sleeping, he'll recover, they're saying. And then we have Yod 10, Gimel 3, 13, Vayahushua, and Yahushua Diber spoke al concerning Moto, his death. Concerning his death, he spoke, right? The Hema, and they. Now this could be Choshvu, which happens to be they thought, ki that, al concerning manuchat, about rest. And Yahushua spoke about his death, and they thought that about rest, ha-shana, which is from sleeping, diber, he spoke. From sleeping, he spoke. And then we have a Yod 10, a Dalet 4, and it is as, then, Amar, he said, Yahushua, Alehem, unto them, Mephorash, explicitly, Elazar, Matt, is dead. Then he said, Yahushua to them explicitly, Elazar is dead. And then we have a tet, value of 9, and a vav value of 6. 9 and 6 is 15, and that's how we get 15, right? And 16 is a similar thing. These are the odd ones. V'sameach, and glad. Ani, I am. Big lolkem, because of you. Kem is you. Ki, that. Lo hayiti, that not I was, because it sort of stems from haya, was. Sham, there. Le ma'an, so that. Ta'aminu, you may believe. And glad I am because of you. That not I was there, so that you may believe. The ata, which means and now, nissa, let's travel, we travel. The nelka, and we go, again it's got lekka, the ka, there, and we go elev, to him. And now let's travel, and we go to him. And then we have a tet, value of 9, a zion, value of 7, that's 16, Vayomer, and he said, Toma, which is of course what we call Thomas, Ha-nik-ra, which is cold, or the one called, Didymos, which literally means twin, I think, Talmidim, to the Talmudim, to the disciples, Chaverav, his companions. And he said, Toma, called Didymos, to his disciples, his companions. Nelka. So what's Nelka? Nelka means let's go again, or again it's got the nun in front of it and the he at the end. So we can see it's lek is in there, like alek, meaning to go or to walk. We go, could be we go or let's go. Gam also, anachnu, we, le ma'an, so that, namut, we die. The nun is like we there. Imo, which means, im means with him, is the vav there, oh there, with him. Let's also us, so that we die with him. So he's saying, let's go also us, right? Let us go with him. Right. And now we're up to Yod 10, Zion 7, so that's 17. Vayavo, which again is, and came, Yahushua, Vayim Sa'ehu, and found, because we know matzah means to find. And with the two prefixes, it's a completed action, meaning found who? Him. Ze could be this or these. Arba'a. Arba'a means 4 yamim days. Show, because the vowel should be a little bit over not to get confused with that one. So it's show kev, meaning lying, because it's a participle with the O at the top. Ba kaver, in the tomb, because a kaver is a tomb. And came Yahushua and found him these 4 days lying in the tomb. And then we have a yod and a chet, which is 18. Uvet, and the house of Hini, which is Bethany. Karav, which means near, because we know the karav means, as a noun, as a verb, means to draw near, so it means near. Li Yerushalayim, Li Yerushalayim, Jerusalem. Kederek, like the way. Chamesh, Chamesh is 5. Esrei, Esrei is and 10. Reis, and we had that in the lesson. Reis is a set distance, which I think it means like a stadium, the length of a stadium, we could say. So therefore it's like 15 stadiums, or they translate it as furlongs, which if you're a horse racer you can probably understand what that means. And the house of Hini, or Bethany, was near to Jerusalem, like the way 5 and 10 furlongs. And then we have Yod Tet, which is 10 and 9, which is 19. Rabim, and many. Min ha-Yahudim, from the Yehudim. Ba'u, they came. Be'et, to the house of Martha, U Miriam, and Miriam. And many from the Yehudim, they came to the house of Martha and Miriam. And then we have Lenachem, Lenachem, to. Nachem means comfort or console. Et hen, or hen is feminine ending, meaning them. And et, of course, is like a grammar marker. Al, which means about or concerning. Achi hen, again, that's feminine plural. So their brother, about their brother. And we then see the meaning, to console, grammar marker them, about their brother. Then we have a kaf, which has a value of 20. And we have vahi, and it was. Kishmoa, kishmoa, when hearing, because we see shema there, which is like hearing, because again it's a participle. Martha, ki, that va came, Yahushua, va tetsei, which is and she went, because we know that sa or yatsa mean to go out, but the yod is replaced with the tav, telling you it's feminine, so therefore she went out. Likrato, to call him, to greet him. So karat with the tav can mean to greet, whereas kara means call, but with the tav it can mean to meet him or to greet him, right? And it was when hearing Martha that came Yahushua, she went to greet him. Miriam Yoshevet, meaning stayed, babayit, in the house. And Miriam stayed in the house. Right, now, coming to the next one. And we have a kaf, which is 20, and an aleph, which is 1. Va tomer. And she said, Marta, el tu, Yahushua, Adoni, my master, lu, which means, if only. Ha yita, you were. Po, here. And she said, Marta, to Yahushua, my master, if only you were here. And then we have ki, as, for, then, lo, not, met, meaning to die, have died. We can say not have died, achi, my brother. For then, not have died, my brother. And we have kaf 20 ve 2, vagam, and also ata, now, yadati, I know, or know I. Ki, that, kol, all asher, that. Tishal, which is you shall ask, because sha'al means to ask, and the tav is like you. Me'et, meaning from grammar marker, right? Et is the grammar marker. Elohim, from Elohim. And also now know I that all what you shall ask from grammar marker Elohim. Yiten. Now we know that at the root of that is natan, which is to give, right? So therefore he shall give. Leka, to you. Elohim, to you Elohim. All right. He shall give to you Elohim. Very good. And now we come to the end of that revision. And again, let's revise the top line this time. And we see there's a dot above the vav. So when there's a dot above a letter, then it gives us the O sound. And it's called a cho. And that gives us the sound. Cholam. And this is called a shiva. And it can be silent, or it can have a short E sound. And then we have a se-gol. So it's got that now, that sound, se, the E sound. And then we have a longer E sound, which is called a zere. And that's why it's often translated as EI. But I like to leave it as an E and just say ze. It's just a longer E sound. Then we have this one, which is patach. So it's a shorter A sound. And then we have a kamat, a longer A sound. And of course we dealt with 1 to 22, so we can see all the normal numbers up to 10 and how they're arranged. And then we add kaf in front of it to go into the 20s. Right, so now that gives us our lesson. These are the useful resources, and I hope some people are using them because they are so helpful. Especially the dictionary, but this one too, because it gives transliteration, so we know how to say it, and it's even color-coded. And we just thank you for joining us in this lesson. And we do pray that you have reached to this stage where you can begin translating. And if not, that's fine. Go back to the individual lessons and just go through them. And we just want to wish you a Shavua Tov, a good week, and hope to see you again.